Sabat Rehan really got dumped there, and he's dropped all the way to P11.
Right. I think it might have been Jantan actually that knocked him off.
No, it wasn't a blue car. It was actually Adri.
Okay.
So Adri was the one that was the guy that knocked him off. Alip Jantan Jebat driving for Biff Racing. He's in the blue car, so he was the one that cleared him. But then Adri tried to follow suit. Unfortunately, there was no room. Sabat Rehan had to take to the gravel, unfortunately.
Okay. Now watching the car on P17, Handy.
Go
Andy.
Whoa. That's Andy.
Oh!
Oh! Andy a bit too... Not very handy that time round, unfortunately. He whacked into the back of James Leong. James has had a terrible round. He's rather wanting to forget this, and he might just protest that afterwards.
James Leong, the much younger version of another James Leong I know from the karting scene. But yeah, it doesn't look very happy there in the insert.
Now then, we're
Back
looking
to the front.
Yep, Odi Devanugraha chasing after Adrian Amit, Alex.
Yeah, I think our producer's definitely picking all the drivers with the hard names. But yes, he's Adrian's just ahead of him, doing a good job just keeping that gap right now. But I want to see what's happening now with Lay, seeing if Jerry Lay is able to close that gap to Amarul Hafiq.
Nope, still 3 seconds between himself and Amir Rafi. If anything, Amirul is actually much closer this time to Lance Kong. We're keeping an eye on this battle as well between Devanugraha and Amit. But he is actually being chased right now by Matthew Grange. Grange then goes on the outside. Devanugraha goes onto the inside. In fact, middle of the circuit. That's a good defensive line. But Grange gets a better run right the outside. Go-karting style, Alex.
That was a great move. Matthew Grange, yes, he's actually a go-karter. Just kept his foot in and just gave him some space, and I think, yeah, the other driver just had decided to back off, lift up the apex, and Matthew Grange really good.
Very good move. I think that's move of the race, or even move of the season so far, because he just kept his foot in, and Grange now up to P7, chasing after another young gun, about half his age, because he is 14, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Adri 7, so half his age. Let's see how the two karters will get along here. Let's see how the real world experience has come good in sim racing. Up in front though, we're looking at Amir Rafi, who had a bit of a wild first race, finished in P8. He will still maintain, in fact, going to the leader championship, because Muhammad Rais had an absolutely shocking first race as well. He's gonna line one up here with Lance Kong. Lance right in front of him by about 7/10 of a second as they come across the line. Then half of the race gone as we see Adri lost it coming into the final corner. He's lost the position, in fact, two to Matthew Grange and Odi Devanugraha. So unfortunately for Adri, we were waxing lyrical about him. We were about to tee up a battle between the two karters. Unfortunately, that has actually rescinded quickly. In fact, he's going to lose another position, being pushed out wide, albeit by somewhere in the grey area by Muhammad Rais.
So Rais he needs his points. He needs to try and get further up. Adrian then immediately goes to the inside. Oh, Rais actually backs out of that. I was quite surprised. Adrian goes through nicely.
Yeah, probably Rais hasn't taken a leaf out of the book of Matthew Grange, who actually went around the outside, keeping the foot in. So maybe because he wasn't far enough ahead or side by side enough to get through there. But unfortunately for him, he's going to have to regroup now to get up to the back of Adrian. There's meanwhile up in front, Amir Rafi, who was the fastest driver, one of the fastest drivers in the free practice sessions, moved for 26 at one point. Now he's actually trying to get up to P2 to salvage something from this round. He will still be one of the drivers at the head of the field as we go into the results stage. But still, he would have been thinking of what if he had a better qualifying that first race to finish better than he was then.
Yeah, he might even be the champion lead come the end of today. But Amarul there, yeah, he's doing a good job. He's closing in that gap. I'm just quite surprised with the composure. You know, we've seen today that there are a lot of accidents, and Amarul also takes some accidents. But there's something you said, somehow finding a way to have your moments but still stay on track and still be at the front of the pack. It's very hard to teach that, and it's shown some good composure.
Well, that's because you're one of those drivers who love to be a bit of a showman, as Nabil Jalil has unfortunately retired from the race. If you see the word D right beside that, he's the DNF beside the word administrator, so that's actually one of our scenarios running this one. But either way, DNF for Nabil Jalil, disappointing end to the round after showing so much promise in the first two. But Amir Rafi then, he's probably that kind of driver who's a bit of a showman. He can still pull off some moments or two in the race where he's half spinning or overtaking something gone wrong. He could still be. Oh, in fact, there's a half spin with him now. I was just talking about it, and he's into the gravel.
Commentator's curse, jinxed it. We just talked about his composure, and he goes off. Oh well, he's not the only one to have done that today, but he'll be kicking himself. Really kicking himself. championship there. I think we'll take a good shot.
Yeah. In fact, Reyes has got in front of him. So Reyes and Avery have got in front. Damanugraha and Grange as well. So Grange is up into the top 5. That will be something he will go going back home tonight. Let's see that smile. That's Cynthia one hits the back of somebody. Somebody almost in the background. That's actually Mika. In fact, no, it's James Leong. James Leong has dropped it into the gravel. Mika is trying to recover from that. He is actually spun into the barriers. Wow, and we're into that final 5-minute phase of anything that could happen.
Yeah, I have to say, quite impressive back in Grange up to P5. Grange qualified. The way he started, shall we say, not qualified.
Yeah. In fact, Grange was, where was he? 23rd. 23rd, and he managed to actually just avoid any of the carnage that happened in that particular gaggle of cars where low in the field, let's be honest, you wouldn't want to be there at any point because you could just get taken out for no reason.
Actually, let's look at Jerry Lay as well. Where did he start the race? He was starting quite far back. 14th. Yeah, so great drives from Lay and Matthew Grange there, P3, P5.
As now that's Ignatius Valentino, 2/10 of a second behind his fellow countryman Sabat Rehan. Rehan then ducks on the outside. Close, that is so close. Very close even. And being a keyboard player, you just cannot have that kind of fidelity compared to when you're on the front and we can just back it up ever so gradually. It's a bit more binary, it's on and off when you're on the keyboard.
Like I said, I keep saying this is no way I can do that. Very impressive.
Smoking Doosan again. And he manages to cover it. Unfortunately, he's battling for P13, which in race 2 has no points. Anyway, up in front, don't mind Ahmad Jusmin, he's not the race leader. It's Ahmad Fahmi Ismail, who is more than 7 seconds, in fact 6 seconds ahead of Lance Kong. Lance then happy to just hold by this time there after seeing Amir Rafiq's challenge fizzle out in the most spectacular way possible. Rather lazy spin and then dropped into the gravel. Speaking of gravel, there's Amir Rafiq in the gravel again. He actually just touched the wheel on the grass and Jaden goes through now. Jaden up to 9 and Afiq down only has 1 point to his name in race 2.
Really sliding around. I wonder if he got the tire pressures right for the start of the race. Because it's very strange. We were talking about this before the race, how you do have to manage the tire pressures. If you just don't quite get them right, the last 3-4 laps of the race can be very tricky.
Indeed, in fact, the tires will move quite significantly, especially if you get the pressures completely wrong. An overinflated tire is not really the most fun to drive with.
Absolutely, especially on the heat here at Pasir Gudang. Do have that issue. This is also a track with high energy tires. Not that many corners, but a lot of long corners. So a lot of energy there. They do start to be very hard to get back.
Indeed, and the centrifugal forces, you can say, because it's just the way the tire slips, it just adds on to the pressure, adds on to the wear and temperatures.
Yeah, and then it's just just keeps getting worse and worse. There's no coming back from it. It loses grip and slide, makes it hotter.
Compound that, if you have a spin, you just have nowhere to go to recover the temperatures. Now then, we're looking at Ali Jantan Japai in P7. He's about 8/10 of a second in front of Jaden Ung, who's also in turn in front of Amir Rafi, recovering Amir Rafi after that half spin while running in third. He'll be absolutely devastated there because he was looking to at least assume the role of championship leader by the end of the round, but it looks as though his teammate Mali Fakro may also have a chance to actually be the championship leader. We'll have to count the points after this and show you for the next round, but it's all just absolutely crazy right now to think that we don't even have a definite championship leader. That's how close it is in comp this season.
It's like you said, the top 10 were within 7 points. There might be 1 or 2 guys that we've spoken about who might actually
and one of those guys who actually might have a claim to claim for the championship lead is Ahmad Fahmi Ismail, who probably has actually spun it. Is he second? Oh no, he's because can we look at what happened in front? Yes, it is. It's actually a battle for the lead. Ahmad Fahmi Ismail has dropped a 6-second lead in front of Lance Kong. Lance then only about 3/10 of a second. They actually swapped position at one point. It looks as though Lance was in the lead at a certain point. Now he's back into second, Alex. This is incredible.
Wow. Just when we thought it was over, it gets tight again. So now Fahmi back in front, but now he's got a back marker in front of him. The blue car is a back marker. And he's getting under serious pressure there from Kong.
Oh, Yuan Edo takes to the grass. He actually tries to avoid both of them. He actually spins into the gravel trap. Ahmad Fahmi cuts the chicane and loses the lead to Lance Kong. Lance then only has 15 seconds left here to finish the race. I think Ahmad Fahmi Ismail may have actually chewed through his tires.
Oh!
Oh, he tries to close the door on Jerry Lay, and Jerry gets knocked by Yuan Edo, which means it's a clear run to the line for Lance Kong. I think he thinks he's won the race. I think no, in fact he's continuing on. He's on the last lap. Would you believe it? We thought that Fahmi Ismail might actually have a stake for a claim to take the race win and the championship lead. We kind of had the commentators skills against there as well.
It's quite incredible. I think we're all for nothing, aren't we, Am? Every time we talk about a driver, they have an incident. Yes, so it's, wow, Lance Kong there. He'll be celebrating. He's got one more lap to go, but a nice comfortable 7-second lead over the car in second place.
Again, it's actually Devanugraha. So Audi Devanugraha has got another second right. Rise may actually have the extended championship lead at the top, but we'll count that after this because it's still anything can happen. And we just saw just now how on earth did Fahmi Ismail from a race winning position managed to snatch the lead from the jaws of victory.
Where did Rise finish in race 1? He was quite far back actually, wasn't he?
In fact, Rise was P19.
P19, so yeah, this is good for his championship. But I still got a feeling that Amaral, I think might be champion.
I'll wait and see because Amirul did win that first race. As Yuan Edo then becomes a bit of a mockery for the rest of the drivers to get through. He's trying his best actually. He's been a good driver to get out of the way, especially when blue flags are being shown. But unfortunately, it comes at him at the worst possible time. Now then, coming to the final corner, Lance Kong will become your first ever race winner here today as well. After Malik Fakrul, he tries to weave across the line. Or is he the winner? Because Jerry Lay's first. No, in fact, Lance Kong wins race number 2, and he is about 2 seconds ahead of Odi Devanugraha, who comes across the line in second again. So 2 second places for him also stakes his claim for a championship fight. Rai is third, Ismail fourth. In fact, Rai managed to get up to third, amazingly. Ismail fourth, Adrian in fifth, Alec Jantan 6, 7 is Amir Rafi recovering from the half spin, Malik 8, 9 is Jaden, and 10, amazingly, despite being 5th at one point, Matthew Grange.
Something must have happened to Grange just now because he was running, doing such a good job. But yeah, see all these cars spinning out of the last corner just for the finish line, dealing with the tyre pressure issues. It's hard again why we're in copper class. Needs to try and understand. Let's talk to Muhammad Rais right now. Are you there, man? Can you hear us?
Yes, I
You
can.
want to talk us through that race? That looked quite crazy.
Yeah. I was just coming in, like, without any expectations, just trying to, keep calm, just do something relaxed, actually not there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know where the championship goes, obviously, because you couldn't drop rounds off. You couldn't factor in drop round scores as well. But you're still in the championship hunt. So that's going to be worth something.
That's great.
How's race 1 for you, though?
Race 1 was I got brought up to so many experts. I just got out twice, I think, so yeah.
Well, it's
The track is quite hard.
No, it is quite hard. It is quite bumpy as well. I think you guys did a good job of considering. You'll love our 4th track, though. I can't announce it yet, but our 4th track's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to run. But congratulations, and yeah, get practicing.
Thank you.
In fact, Rais also had a bit of a talking to by none other than Abdul Azlan after the round in Sharjah because he actually had a bit of a major incident where he could have actually avoided that, but he turned into somebody on the straight. So Nabil might have actually talked to him and saying, dude, if you want to take on the championship, try to be more circumspect.
Okay, who else shall we talk to? Let's talk to Ignatius. Hey, man. First of all, do you want to tell us who the cartoon is in front of you on the screen?
Yes. I think this is
K-pop idol, I think.
K-pop pilot. How do you do the driving with the keyboard, man? Congratulations. You should do a video for us that shows how you do it. Also on our website. Nice to see how you actually do it. Might actually be some guys out there who might want to learn how to do that as well. Yeah, talk us through your race 2. You've got quite a few battles.
Mistake in the
Sorry, wants to drive some car. So.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for keeping us entertained. We followed you a lot over the 2 races. It was really good to watch. See you round 4. Good luck. Okay, that was an exciting race. That's Copper class. We've got Bronze coming up, and up that silver and gold. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Just welcome back. My name's Alex Young, here with Ammo Huddle, and we've just had the Copper class. 2 races, 2 exciting races in the Copper class. It's quite fun. And we've got the Bronze class coming up now. And we are, of course, around 3 or 4 and track. Nice little clockwise track. There's more focusing on Malaysian tracks at the moment. Inshallah, last weekend, last round, shall we say. And now here around 3 so 3.8 kilometers. And we're seeing how quite a bumpy track, a little bit tricky to drive.
Indeed, in fact, it's caught up quite a few drivers as well, especially when they're in close battles. The fast nature of the circuit is one thing, but also when the corners tighten up, it causes a lot of mayhem.
Absolutely, it's not very wide. But let's see what it looks like with, I think this one. Well, that was exciting. Well, exciting. That was a really good hot lap. Thanks very much for doing that for us. And we go to the on-track action now. You see the Bronze class, just a couple of minutes ago in practice. They are driving the same cars. These Formula Master cars, same cars as the Bronze class.
Ooh, that's close.
Tire wear is a bit higher. Tire wear is times 2. So these drivers are a bit more experienced than the class drivers. Hopefully hopefully they can look after their
Yep. As Jasmine goes around the outside and finds the grapple as well, so he's not immune to that kind of mistake despite sending the fastest lap in practice so far. The only driver to be in 26 is on the lap. And what do we have here? A Renault replica from 2010 by Cameron James. That's actually a nice livery.
Let's zoom in on that big guy. Wow, yeah, this is incredible.
And from 2010 as well, that was driven by Kubica and Petrol. So, and he even has Kubica's helmet. Nice. That's a nice touch there from Cameron to get that vibe, even if it's in a very slow car.
Yeah, very slow car. A little bit slow car, yeah, it is slow. Actually, it's not slow. It's really fast, but compared to the Jordans that come afterwards, it does seem a bit slow.
Yep. As on screen right now, we see up to 90 drivers, but in fact, we have 26, 27, 25 on track. In fact, Jonathan Apples hasn't set the lap time just yet, but judging by how close it is at the top, about 3/10 of a second, I think we're in for a good session as Mazam Zari takes a bit of a spin. 360 no scope, faces forwards again.
So the lap times are a bit quicker. We know the couple of cars, a couple of drivers were able to jump into 26s in practice, but come qualifying, none of them could even get into 3 seconds, right? War, traffic, just not enough experience to pull out the lap. I think last lap,
317.
2017, sorry, 2017.
But they just couldn't bring 26.
It's going to be in 26. It'll be interesting to see where bronze goes. We've already seen one guy in 26 here in practice, but can they really qualify?
Yep. And we have to also consider the fact that we still have a huge number of cars. That traffic problem that we saw in Copland may happen again in Bronze.
Okay, so practice is finishing, so don't stare at us while we swap the screens around as we get ready for qualifying. Qualifying will start. Yeah, I mean, what should we look forward to? What's comes, would you say?
I think competitiveness, yes, especially given the fact that these are drivers who are faster, some theoretically faster than the common guys, but make no mistake, they can make it as close as possible as well, especially the likes of Jasmine Tan here, Tanzani Ramdani, who we have not seen much in this practice session. And those two guys have dominated qualifying in when they were in copper, then in bronze last time out in Shalam. So I won't be surprised if they actually come up trumps again here in this qualifying session as well.
And that is right. I mean, we see better racing in bronze, don't we? Quite often we see the best racing because we have a nice mixture of a lot of these drivers are actually quite experienced, actually drive well, but not so super professional. So this is it's just really lively on the racing, especially in those cars. So if you're new to eRacingGP and Global Edition, watch out. Bronze class often brings the sparks and the fireworks, yeah. But of course, we've got to start with qualifying first.
Yep. In fact, qualifying is about a minute away. Cameron James, as you said, 26.8. So that's the fastest we've seen so far today in these cars. And looks like we might actually have another challenger up at the front.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be great to see if we can have that. Yeah, we saw Cameron James be quick in the first 2 rounds, but just not very consistent. Made a few mistakes, didn't he, at the key points. Let's see if we can kind of iron that out and obviously start with pole position. Would be quite nice.
Yeah, but in fact, I think he didn't race in round number 2 in Shalam, so he did race in round number 1, yes, but he showed then that he did have the pace, but again, sometimes the odd mistakes here and there just creep in,
Yeah.
just put paid to any good results, so he wants to have a good result now, given the fact that round 2 is his drop round.
He wasn't in round 2, huh? Because I thought I saw him there in round 2, inshallah. Okay. There we go. Anyway, we are just about to start. 3, 2, 1, and qualifying is just starting now. So let's go. Let's sit right on board. See some of the cars as they start leaving the pit lane now. Riding on board with Cameron James, and you see, so it's not too tight, but it exits at the end of turn 1 onto the main straight.
Yep, and it kind of funnels into almost like the racing line, because some of the guys just want to cut across immediately to the outside, the outside for turn 2. And for the time being, at least, since everyone's just flowing out of the pit lane, we won't see that much of a problem.
So it is very bumpy track. We've seen that. It doesn't look too bad from here, but you can see some of the lines on the tarmac there. It is very tricky for these cars. Oh gosh, we just talked about it with advert break, what we have. How tough is it around here? So there's one car for silver and gold. quite a stiff car. It's going to feel all the bumps.
And especially for those guys who are using direct drive wheels, they're going to feel it the most. You're going to see a lot of flipping points in the force feedback.
Alright, we'll try and do come the end of the opening lap right now. Because he's got a pretty car and he's put all that effort on delivery, I think we should stay on board for a lap of the track. We'll go on board with him right now. Comes out of the chicane, it's turn 9 I think it is. Turn 11's flat out, big break on turn 12. This leads at the start finish straight. Down the start finish straight, down to turn 1. Turn 1's kind of interesting. It's kind of a late apex, no one turning too early. That's just about perfect. That late apex allowed him to get up the power a bit earlier than he normally would. The game is always about getting to the tunnel early. I think he did a good job with that. Carries all that energy all the way down this long, main straight. Turn 2 coming up, easy flat, left hander. No problem at all, not lifting there. But braking turn 3. Turn 3 here can be done a couple of different ways. You can be in a bit. The camera kind of does something in between. Turn 4 now is just a slight tiny break to get the front turn in. Try to keep it fourth. Didn't quite work. Ran wide. That would have cost a bit of time. That's okay. Turn 5 then. But it's all about the exit turn 5. Because we're going to carry it down the back straight. Over the brow. Into turn 6. Turn 6 is my favourite corner on the track. It's just a lift. Gosh, he lifted late. And he's keeping it 5th. Wow, that's why he's so quick. That's impressive. Small break for turn 8. 6, 7, turn 7, sorry. Over the brow. Turn 8 and 9. The race is slow. She came right along. Yeah, sorry, yes it did. It's right on my line. It's not bad. This is a banker lap. I think this next lap will be a bit quicker. This goes to the last corner. But it's not a bad lap, is it, Alan?
Yeah, it looks pretty smooth apart from that first turn where he actually just ran it quite a bit. I think he might have actually validated that one. He's coming across the line now. Would this be an improvement? Yes, in fact, he actually cut it in. A 27.1. Imagine if he didn't drop it in the dirt, he would have been much faster.
Yeah, he's definitely got a 3/10 there in his pocket, I think. So let's see if he can do a 26.8. Ooh, from down he goes quickest.
27 flat, and he goes straight back into the mid lane. So he wants to get the lowest amount of fuel and the freshest amount of tyres possible to start yet that last lap.
John McGregor, one of the old hands here at eRacingGP. He's P12 right now. It's not a bad lap. John McGregor's not been driving with us so recently lately. But he's on another good lap. He's got a good slipstream there as well.
Heavy traffic though, it's just that issue, isn't it? Because out of the pit lane, you just want to maintain your line. You don't do any more steering angles that will increase that delta. He was forced to because there was just nowhere to go. He just had to go veer a bit to the left, then come back across to the right. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he could do it.
Okay, we should go back to see how Cameron James is doing because this is a quick lap. If he keeps this clean, this might be good enough. Because the first lap was a banker lap. This is the lap where he's really pushing. Pressures are up, tyre is good, and comes to the last corner. Small lock up. I think that's okay though. I don't think that would have cost him any time. He comes across the line. Is this good enough for pole position, Ammo?
See, he comes across the line there. Top gear, in fact, almost top gear. It's 200 kilometers per hour across the line. Yes, he does, and he's 3/10 faster, just as you said it, Alex. 3/10 in his pocket, and there you go. Pole position, adjustment time is about 10 behind, in fact, 800. So he is a good shot for pole position. And of course, Kanzani Ramdani was on his outlap. His one final lap, and he can nail his. Ramdani lets a few drivers go through. He doesn't want anybody to distract him. Now he probably goes. He has a bit of a gap behind him.
Yeah, he's trying to get a clear piece of track, but he's running a big risk here. Because the problem is when you let people by like this, you don't know how quick they are. And you might let someone by who's just going to be a bit too slow. But he has got a big gap right now. Will this be the lap? Can he snatch back pole position? That is the big question.
I think just now he left it a bit too late because somebody actually spun behind him. So that guy might have got distracted by Kanzani actually trying to wind up for the start of the next lap. He inadvertently just bottled up the rest of the drivers. So maybe someone might complain about him in qualifying. But apart from that, he is well on his way here. And let's see how this is going, Alex.
Yeah, good turn 1. Turn 2 looked good. Well, turn 2 is easy flat. Turn 3 looks good as well, but he's got some traffic. He's got some traffic. Oh, that's gonna cost some time, I think. He's getting really close right now. Will the traffic get out of the way? No. Oh, well, yes.
When he locks up, he actually misses that apex there, Alex.
Yeah, that would have distracted him. That will have cost him maybe a 10th, I think, maybe even 2. But if he can pull something special out, maybe he can improve. Maybe. Lots of maybes right now. Don't really know. Half a lap to go to the end of qualifying. Ramdani, who is our championship leader in the bronze class. Let's see what he can put. Wow, there's a bit of grass there. That's quite interesting. I wonder if that actually helps the lap time or not.
Yeah, they tried to avoid a bit of a bump in the middle of the apex in that corner, so it's a good thing to have. Oh, he actually runs wide onto the grass. That might waste a bit of time because that wheel spin was enough to bleed off a bit of delta, Alex.
Yeah, that wheel spin would have cost me. There's because
that's to finish it off.
That's it. Nah. You have to settle for 3. Our championship leader will have to settle for P3 here in the bronze class.
Wow, that will be an absolute bitter pill to swallow because he had every chance there to challenge for pole position, but a mix of traffic and the fact that he just timed it wrong there was enough to send him out of the top 2.
Yep, absolutely. But good lap times though. 2 cars in the 26s. That's what I want to see. Whoa!
Oh!
Someone just got it fastest. Have to go back to that, Mr. Producer.
Jaden Chia out of nowhere.
Ooh.
And that is a pole position that we did not expect to come up into the books.
Did not expect that at all. Jaden Chow, but we did see he was quick at Shah Alam, didn't we? But fragile. What a lap. 26.6. Fantastic.
And that's the fastest overall lap time we've seen all week long, actually.
That best lap we've seen.
Wow.
Okay, great lap. Perfect. We love seeing laps like that. But we did think 26.6 was possible, didn't we? We've seen some scruffy laps, 28.0 by Ramdani, so we knew that the good laps are good. Okay, so this is the bronze class. We got a couple minutes as we switch from qualifying to the race 1, and here is the standings for the bronze class. Sorry, excuse me. Of course, Ramdani's not actually leading the champs at the moment. That is Zaire. But of course, when you consider drop points, I think Ramdani will be leading the championship.
Yep. Azam Zari.
Yep. Hakimi there, up there. Chris Chong also up there. Let's see where he is. He didn't qualify so well. Joshua Nabus also was not in the top 10, I think. No, he wasn't. Bradley Martins was P8, so he was quite good there. So a lot of drivers there, but Ramdani really, you know, this is a good chance for him. Even though he's P3, he needs to be calm. He doesn't have to win all the races. He just needs to make sure he picks up the points. That's the tricky thing, isn't it? I mean, do you think he'll go for the win?
Yeah, I would think so because he is ahead of Zari as well. Muazzam didn't have such a good qualifying session, but I did say that because he did start P5, but still, every point counts, especially given the fact that he did not compete that first round in this class at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what Zari can do from P5. Of course, a lot of cars there. We saw that in Copper class, so the potential for carnage is huge. But before we get to the race, got just over a minute before we get to the race, we have to thank our sponsors, Motorsport Association Malaysia, who we are inscribed with, of course. We're trying to make this as serious as possible, and it's great to have MEM there. Life, who makes our apparel. Thank you, Life. Royal Slang, who makes our beautiful trophies. I know I keep saying this, but I really do think they're the best trophies in the business. X-Park, our partners here and our locations here in KL and Johor. And of course, Axel Sports, who are the organizers.
Right, and now we actually have a camera here with Muazzam Zari himself. So, starting in P5 here, he'll be bitterly disappointed to be behind the guys, the likes of Ramdani. He's actually tooting his horn. Yeah.
So, Zari, you know, he is the championship leader, but I think when you do take it, drop points, Ramdani is leading the championship. But 2 races to go now in the bronze class. Both these drivers cannot afford to drop points. They cannot afford to lose points, shall we say. They need to finish strong. Ideally here, race 1, I think the target has to be podium.
Yep. And there's Ramdani on screen right now. So Ramdani then, P3. And unfortunately, we wouldn't get to talk to him because he will, if he wins the race, because he doesn't have a microphone. So, unfortunate bit of information that we just come through for that one.
Interesting sitting position from Ramdani. I'm wondering, is he using a keyboard and mouse?
Oh, wish we could talk to him actually, to be honest, but it looks as though he is on a different type of peripheral. Now then, lights are going to come up to the gantry. 7 seconds left to go then. 6 lights, and when they go out, they will start the bronze class for round number 3 here for Global Edition 11, and we are underway. It looks as though Cameron James may have actually got them in a wheel spin, and he has actually got them in a wheel spin. Too much of it. He couldn't get the whole shot coming to turn 1. Jenny Chia holds on to pole position. Ramdani's into the gravel track and into the barriers goes. Oh, that's a big one. Muazzam Zari's in it, and even I think Ramdani was there as well. Big crash coming out to turn 1. Ramdani then manages to get away in front of Mazam Zari, but it's Zari, the championship leader, who is actually still stuck there.
I think he got involved with someone, he was side by side with someone, and they came together and spun at the exit of turn 1. So wow, disaster for our championship leader.
And I saw that was one of the Balapan Random Motorsports cars as teammates to Tanzani Ramdani. I thought it was Ramdani involved, but it was actually one of the other guys who was running the similar colors. Not sure which one is it, but that's front of spanner to the works, and it opens up the door for the rest of the drivers like Jasmine Tan, who was perennially second fastest in qualifying behind Ramdani, now having an opportunity to actually chip away at that lead that Muazzam Zari has actually built up.
So good that top 3 here having a bit of a gap there from P4 there, Hashim there in P4, but Jasmine Tan then just needs to calm down. Still plenty of the race to go. Look after the tyres. We did see in the proper class that the tyres were going off for the last couple of laps, and this will be a big problem for us because tyre wear times 2. So these drivers really have to be very careful and manage their tyres during the race.
Yep, indeed, and then we saw that guys who run softs can easily have that tyre go up by the 7th lap. Oh! Big accident there. Muhammad Hakimi gets knocked off by Haris. Imran Haris also goes off with him, so unfortunate impact there because he just lost control coming to the corner, and that left the door open for a few drivers to come through. And Hakimi gesticulating in absolute frustration as he tried to readjust himself because he looked really animated there.
No, he's mad. He's really, really mad. But yeah, there's real competitors, Hakimi. So he'll, we saw some great racing from him, inshallah, but hasn't gone so well for race 1 so far.
And guess what? The top 3 have actually made a beeline for it. Arman Hashim's holding P4. He's about 1.6 seconds behind Cameron James. So Cameron, Jasmine, and Jaden now are in a group of their own for the time being, unless something happens between the 3, which of course in bronze is almost a given because we have some absolutely banging races in this class over the last few years.
Okay, so this is where it's going to get a bit tactical, isn't it? I mean, we know tyre wear is high, but you just got to feel the driver who makes the least mistakes win this race.
Because mistakes include lockups. If you don't lock up your tyres, you don't flat spot them, you can preserve the tyre life, and that's where you can actually have a bit of a charge towards the end. I know that personally firsthand on Wednesday after the tyres went off, and I could challenge the guys to win that particular league race. But for these guys having a much higher tyre wear, this is something that they have to be a bit more of a tightrope walk to. They do not want to have a single moment that costs them those crucial few percentage of the tyre life.
Okay, so like like on race room, we over experience in both these games. On race room, you really can save tyre wear by not braking something. Yeah, it's not just about locking up. It's just the game simulates a lot of energy when the tyres and braking. That wears the tyres out a lot, although that doesn't really impact real life so much. What's it like for Santa?
So of course it has that advantage that race room, but it's a disadvantage. The advantage is in terms of realism. Santa Costa doesn't actually simulate much of that much because even if your tyres hit 0, you would just slide around and steer a lot. So they would not have run the risk of punctures, but the tyres will absolutely be shocking to drive on.
Okay, and what's the main thing for making the tyres fast, other than avoiding the lockups? Do you just have to watch your steering inputs or the brake inputs, control inputs?
A bit of all 3 actually, because if you mash the throttle a bit too early, you're going to have wheel spin, it's costing the rear tyres. If you steer too much, you're going to understand cost the front tyres. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You can play around with brake bias as well, just to have the tyres not really go off too much, as Muazzam Zari is in the pits. Championship leader then, he is out of this one.
So Arsenal's going to start at the back for race 2, so he's going to lose a chunk of points. I've got a feeling that this will be his drop round for the championship.
Oh, someone spins in the barriers. Arman Hashim, who was in 4th, has actually dropped it into the infield at turn number 12. And another driver behind him, Ricky Satria, also goes up in sympathy. And another one. 3 different drivers. Alia Wafi Priyanatha that time round. And another one. 4 different drivers. Bradley Martins. And that's... Oh, I can't hold it in. 4 different drivers with the exact same spin. It's almost like a replay. What happened? He had it.
There must have been some oil on the track or something. This game is so realistic. Oil's on the track. It's Ramdani there. Challenge is hard for P4. Oh, gosh.
Oh, and we're still only about 5 minutes into the race as Ramdani gets run out wide by Arman Abdullah. And look who's actually going on the inside. It's Lavinesh Mohammed Nair, who's actually a brand new driver in this championship, takes the pair of them.
Wow. Great job there. I'd love to get back into the Zoom
think that's a chair.
He's on a chair? You think
Yeah, that's a chair. There's no way he could be that hunchbacked.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that is
Oh,
a chair.
cars everywhere.
Oh! Big one! 3 different cars. Ramdani actually goes through. Somehow he actually misses both of them, but he actually still didn't gain any positions. He's still P6. Chris Chong then is up to P4, or is it? Cameron James actually split her up ahead, side by side with Gabriel Wee, I think. Oh wow, we're having this race absolutely kicked off in only just the first 5 minutes.
Wow, so much carnage already. But Chris Chong was the big beneficiary of that. Managed to miss the cars, thread the eye of the noodle. The eye of the needle. And he's up to P4.
Ricky Sartre, one of the big names in this class, is already out of the race, so you can see a D on his name. That means he's DNF'd. So unfortunate for Ricky Sartre. He was involved in much of that mayhem in that first lap, and unfortunately it was a bit too much for the car tank.
Cameron James on P3, all over the back of Khan now. And this battling is allowing the leader, Jaden Chia, to just move away in the front. That's a place by James.
Yep, Cameron then on to the back of Jasmine. Jasmine holds the middle of the road. He has nowhere to go there. That's good defending. He did move once or twice. He just kept the same line as he was coming out of that corner. But you can feel that Cameron actually, I think, has the better pace on the tires at this particular junction.
Yeah, James had the inside line there. I was very surprised he backed out of it. I would have kept down the inside there.
Forces a lock up on Jasmine. Jasmine locks up a bit. That will cost a few percent on his tires. That will be an indicator that James is full in his mirrors. Jasmine then has to not crack under the pressure. We've seen already quite a few drivers have done that. Look at that. That's Mazam Zari. Mazam is in front of these guys, but not in the lead of the race.
Yeah, a good chance of just practice, I guess. See if he can lay down the lap times. But yeah, that's going to be concerning for the leaders. The leader coming up to lap Zari right now, and he'll be really hoping that Zari gets out of the way.
Yes, indeed. In fact, Zari's still pedal to the metal. He's not giving way, even though he's being shown blue flags. If you're within 1.5 seconds, you're going to get blue flags in this game. As we're on board still with Cameron James. Cameron then piling on the pressure on the back of Jasmine Tan. Jasmine, we all know how good he is under pressure. He can handle it well. Unfortunately, last time he actually whacked in the back of somebody in that first race that forced him to actually drop back a few positions. But this time, though, the roles are reversed. He's the one actually doing defending. Cameron has a mistake. Oh, Cameron nearly loses it. Cameron's just having a huge off-road moment, and that allows the back market behind him to take almost the position away.
Wow, Cameron was so focused on the car in front to overtake him. He went for the early throttle, went full throttle super early, and you can see the tire wear effect because he got a bit of a tank slap, or shall we say a fishtail. And James is so lucky that the car did not go into a spin. He's still there in P3.
He's got a pair of fast hands, fast arms even. Oh, that's a big one. That's Lavinash, I think, yes, Lavinash Mohan Nair, who was up to P5 at one point, drops it, and hopefully doesn't get taken out by the other driver, Aulia Wabi Priyanatha, who was one of those 4 drivers that comically spun in the final corner.
Okay, recovers up. Should go back to that battle for 4th position. The battle for 1st position is starting to heat up. Chris Chong then starting to come under some pressure from Ramdani now. This is quite a crucial battle for the championship. Ramdani would like those extra points. Oh, look at that car sliding. This times 2 tire wear is really causing some issues for Bronx car.
Yep, but it's sort of the way that you want to actually drive this car, especially because they're quite light, they're chuckable, they just want to carry that momentum. Yes, it slides a bit, especially with the tire wear, but it's just fast in qualifying, and I think he's taking that qualifying mentality into the race.
Yeah, well, it looks good. But with these sort of cars, it's not the fastest way, I have to say. But it does look good. And I suppose the tire wear is so high, as long as you get the positions.
But that kind of slide, that lateral slide is not what he wanted, and that's exactly what he got into turn number 1. So really then, Ramdani has to watch with his tires if he continues to do that. We're into the final 5 minutes then. It might just be damage limitation for the likes of Mazam Zari, but for Kanzani Ramdani, he can't afford another drop run. He needs to have that 4th position or better to stand up any chance of chipping away in the lead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Zari, I think this is going to be a strong round, unless he has an amazing race too. So, I can't imagine him this not being a strong round for the season. But yeah, for Ramdani, you're right. He's the guy under pressure because he missed round 1 and Simon because he was in copper class. He had to move up the class because he was too fast. And I'm glad he did because he's winning in bronze as well.
So it has to be said he wasn't best. He wasn't clean about it, wasn't he? Because he just wanted to continue driving Copland.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he wants to win the championship, right? Slightly doesn't get competition. Yes, he does.
Yes.
Oh,
That's for me. That's pretty much how you want to take turn number 1.
really nice indeed. So Ramdani's still pushing hard. He wants that pole position for sure. They're too far away to get one of the top 3, unfortunately, but want the points. That's not to get top 10 will be reversed in the race too.
And we're looking back now while this battle's going on. Remember Muhammad Hakimi, who got taken out in that first corner? He is actually right there, P7, behind Imran Harris, the guy who took him out at turn number 1.
How about that? What a great recovery by Hakimi. We talked about how what a fighting, battling driver. What a battling driver he was. Some great defensive moves in each other. Hopefully that doesn't give him one big curse. And it's great to see him back up there in the top 7.
Indeed. In fact, he's only about 8 tenths of a second behind Imran, the guy who actually whacked him out of the first corner. So you can see how animated he was. He was jumping out of his seat. I thought he was actually just adjusting himself, but no, he just really was that incensed by the amount of disrespect that he had that time. As we look at further in front, this is now a really close battle between Jasmine Time, Cameron James, and well, there's no Chris showing there because Marcus Zabrik's further behind. He's actually a lap behind now, these two. But whoa, that big slide from Jasmine. He's under huge pressure. And Cameron, remember, had that big moment coming out of turn 5. He really saved it that time. Now he's coming to the back of him. He really is actually not so punishing with his tyres.
It's really a good job, I think, Cameron James, looking after him. But this track is just so hard to overtake. You've got to take a risk to overtake. But he's close enough. Let's see if he can learn from his mistake he did a few laps previous. And the key corner will be turn 5 coming up. We'll go through turn 4 now. If he nails turn 5, maybe he can get a ton out of it.
Yep, and remember turn 5 was where he made a mistake as well, when he had a massive fishtailing moment, managed to recover it from a spin, and just, you know, prevented Chris from making any further weight. He only lost about 1.5 seconds. Now he's within a tenth of a second. Coming out to turn 6. Oh, that is really close. You're really threading the needle there to try and overtake at that particular point of the track. I think he might want to go at the chicane.
Too impressive.
Oh, and the other body got caught in the curve there. You can hear the bottom scraping.
Nice, so he's having a go though. He's trying to. But this track is so hard. Hakimi there. All over the back there of Harris.
Yep, and it's a case of revenge best served cold, and he does want that to get one over the guy who knocked him out, but he doesn't want to do it. That will incur a penalty. He just wants to get the better of him this time and just get it over with. It might be a bit too far now to catch up to the back of Ramdani, who in turn Ramdani is about 6 tenths of a second behind Chris Chong. We're looking at the battle here between P6 and P7. Harris, and oh, that's a back marker for good measure. Yet another driver getting caught up by that last corner.
Seeing a lot of cars spinning there throughout the last corner. Mostly by drivers who feel have not had a chance to practice as much as they would like to. But yes, okay, we've got 2 more laps to go, I think.
Yep, 2 laps to go at best because it is 11 laps, so it's correct. The race projection was correct after all. So 11 laps is what they need to do. 1.5 laps to go then for Jaden Chia to get his first ever win in the eRacingGP. We had a lot of first time winners here this season. Oh! Oh, that's a double hit. Imran actually was on his way from spinning, and then Hakimi just somehow saved him.
Wow, how Imran Harris there, super lucky to get away with that. He should have been facing backwards, but Hakimi there hit him in the front and actually straightened him up.
Well, speaking of like the guy who did on him, he actually avenged him somewhat. Oh, that's a hit as well. That is Jasmine getting a huge whack at the back from Cameron James, and Cameron may have suffered a bit of damage in the front.
Damage. One more lap there.
And Cameron again overdriving the car. He really is trying to get the most out of that performance of that car, but unfortunately, no way to go to overtake because there's not that much overtaking spots on the circuit. He will have to buy this time again as we get to the final lap. Or maybe no, he can't buy this time. It is the final lap. He has to go for it.
Yeah, Goder in that gap though. Just over a second back now from Tan. I don't think he's going to be close enough. He might have to settle for P3 as it is. If you go back to that battle for position though, that's a good between Chong and Mandani.
Yep. They're 11 seconds behind the podium, but it's no less important, especially given the fact that points are at stake. And for Kamzali Ramdani, comes into this round pretty much needing the best possible start to the race, has not gotten there. He was outside of the pole positions. He was in P3, got involved in a bit of an incident at the opening lap and has been chasing shadows since. Now he's just trying to get fourth, but no, it looks as though that's the end of that charge as well because he's dropped it coming out of turn 4 into the grass.
He'll have to settle there for P5. That's not so bad, especially after his first lap.
Yep, now we're going to go back to P1. Jaden Chia, well, he probably didn't go to bed last night thinking he could win at least one of the races. Now he is actually on the cusp of winning one. Coming out of the final corner, that's why he doesn't spin. Well, the guy in front does spin actually. But across the line he goes, Jaden Chia to win his first ever eRGP race in the bronze class. What a way to do it in front of some of the really fast guys. And across the line then, Cameron James did not manage to get by Jaden in time. And Jasmine finishes second. Cameron James third in a very close battle there throughout the entire race. Fourth will be Chris Chong, and you'll be happy to see that Ramdani's challenge faded towards the end. Chong in fourth, Ramdani fifth. Imran Harris, he went his own little battle as well. Battle Royale with Muhammad Hakimi, that was Ramdani into the barriers. There is Imran Harris, and in fact that's Marman Abdullah behind everybody else. That's Hakimi across 7, Jose Al-Kadri in 8, 9th is Armand Abdullah, and 10th is Kingston Time. So that is your top 10 in a very wild first race. And once again, Rods delivers an absolute storm of a race. And another guy spins behind at the last corner for good measure. That's not Jonathan Comedian, that's a back marker.
The last corner is very tricky, taking a lot of catching a lot of drivers out here in the bronze class. Right. Okay, let me take a picture of the results as they come across the lines now. An exciting race there. Cha with the win, really good piece from his first win. And yeah, okay, that's race 1 done and dusted. Race 2 is coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back right after these couple of small, short little messages. Okay, welcome back. We've just had race 1 of the bronze class finished, and coming up for race 2 now. And quite an interesting race, right? I mean, we saw the championship rivals not exactly get it right.
Yeah, Mazhab Zari had an absolute mare. He was right at the back, got caught in that first corner incident, went all the way to the back, had to pit, finished more than a lap behind. So that was not what he wanted, his championship charge.
Yeah, such a shame for him because really he finishes 22nd in race 1 and only the top 10 get reversed, so he's not going to be in that conversation in race 2, at least for the first few laps. But let's see what happens. Let's try and talk to Zaire right now as we can, see if we can talk to him. Our championship leader on the line right now, our championship leader coming into round 2. What happened on lap 1, if you may ask? It was tough.
I don't know who doesn't give me the enough space, but yeah, that's all.
Yeah, sorry, you're not very impressed, are you? Yes, we saw it happen, and our hearts go out to you. What's the strategy now for race 2? I mean, obviously you're starting quite far back, huh?
Just drive to survive. Yeah, that's all.
Drive to survive. Okay, well, hopefully we'll see you in the top 5. Huh? We saw in the copper class we had a driver from P15 finish 2nd, so anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen for sure.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
He's wearing the Johor shirt for good measure, so he's got that fighting spirit in him. And in fact, maybe we have enough time for one more interview, Alex.
Let's have a quick chat with Hakimi. So you can talk to Hakimi right now, who finished P7, I think, in race 1. But no, we can't quite get him at the moment. I think he's focusing on the race. Fair enough. When you got 1 minute 30 minutes before the start of race 2.
Yep, and that pole sitter is Kingston Time. So Kingston then manages to snag P10 on the line to get out to pole position. So let's see how he fares starting from pole position, almost arbitrarily because top 10 does spin you around to finish in first. But You make your luck count. I know I did when I won my GP race. Qualified, I think second that time, didn't win. So Kingston may want to do the same thing here.
Yeah, you got to put yourself in a position to receive luck, don't you? If you're not circulating, of course, you're never going to receive that luck. But yeah, so Kingston, what do we know about him? He's got such good pace. I think Hakimi, who's lining up just beside him, though, he'll be keen to try, because he's got the pace to stay in the front if he can get to the front on lap 1.
He's quite fired up, of course, after what happened in race 1, where he wasn't given enough space as well. He got turned around, and he actually nearly got into a second incident the second time after he was into the back of Imran Haris. Also, Kingston, he's from Hard Rocket, so we kind of know him quite well. A very dedicated rocket karting club. But either way, these three guys up in front, Arman Abdullah, Kingston Tan, and Mohammed Hakimi, may just set some fireworks off.
I would love to see Kingston Tan in a hot rocket car. It would be kind of a livery actually.
Let's time to modify that, because we're now having 10 seconds left to go here. Lights on the gantry, come on. When they go out, look the other way for this final time in front for round number 3. Run away. And then looks as though, yet again, guys on the outside might have not had the best of starts, but Kingston manages to hold on. No, in fact, it's actually Arman Abdullah. Arman around the outside. Yes, he manages to hold on to first place as the rest of the field now stream out of the first corner. It looks as though it's all clear, Alex.
Yeah, but there's Ramdani at the exit of turn 1 again, like in race 1, just running wide onto the grass. That's cost him a couple of positions. Oh, there he is, trying to get by. Oh, just takes a place through P2 to turn 2. Oh, something right wide on turn 3, though. That's Harris.
Yep. Even Harris goes off and nearly gets into the side of Lavinesh Mohaner, but Lavinesh avoids that. As now we're seeing a pattern form here up in front. That is Cameron James trying to dive on the inside. And Cameron, and you know, in fact, Ozair gets capped around. He was trying to go on the inside there was Cameron James, but Ramdani then, throughout of all of that, is up to P4. Ooh, big accident put behind. Michael Vincent Velasquez.
He'll fall back. McGregor, I think, also got caught up in that accident. Watching Hakimi there right now. He's there in P2 at the moment, P3. Let's see if he gets to the front.
Yep, Arman actually managed to clear away from Kingston. So did Kingston himself and Hakimi. So the top 3 that we were pointing out are still top 3 in the race, as we are now coming to the end of lap number 1. But they had to watch out in their mirrors, because a certain Tanzania Ramdani might spoil that particular party. But again, if we're in for a treat here, the fast boys are up in front.
Ramdani there looking back, stalking Hakimi right now. See if exit can get out of there. They can both get. Hakimi though gets a good exit as well. And although there is quite a big slipstream down this main straight, none of the cars are just too much.
And compared to what we saw in Shalom, where all the drivers were very close because the slipstream is powerful, then it looks as though it's not the same case now, as Abdullah gets a lockup and Kingston goes off. Kingston runs a bit wide coming into turn 3. That just puts Spain to a good result as he tries to recover. He might just drop all the way back to P10.
Yeah, P11 right now, so disaster for Kingston Tan. Oh, he's got to stay calm now and see what he can recover from the race.
Promising position gone from thinking that. Unfortunately for him, he just misjudged it, and now he's left the room by that one. But that opens up the door for me, number 2, to actually be for the taking, and it's being held currently by Mohammed Hakimi. 3rd place is Tanzania Ramdani. 4th is Jaden Chow, race 1 winner, and 5th, Cameron James, who tried to go all over the bank of Jasmine Tan to overtake. He's in front of that guy, that set guy. Jasmine's in 6th, so wow, we in a row. All those fast guys in front are together now.
Okay, Ramdani just got the inside last corner. He decides to pull out of the move in the end.
Oh, look at Jasmine around the outside. Jasmine manages to get around the outside of Cameron James through the final corner. So Cameron then got caught napping there. He braked a bit early. Jasmine goes through. That's Ramdani going on to the out. In fact, that's Jaden around the outside of Tanzania Ramdani. So Ramdani then is under severe pressure here. We have to look out for this, because up in front, Arman Abdullah is pulling away. But the battle between these guys from 2nd all the way to 7 is an intriguing one. Ramdani on the inside, Jenny on the outside. Jaden has to hold back for now. Further behind, Muhammad Amiruddin Omar. Ahmed Pomin has a bit of a slight spin. He manages to recover. But the battle between for 2nd place is heating real nicely.
Yeah, it's a good battle there. Ramdani just...
Oh, who's that? Who's that spinning? It's up Arman Abdullah. Arman has spun it. He actually whacks into the side of somebody as well. That's Bradley Martins. Bradley takes off to the infield, and Who's that off as well? It's Cameron James.
James, well, unsighted. Wow, how realistic is the game? The tire smoke unsighting the guys coming up behind him. Three drivers had to take to the grass just to see driving.
Yep, and that was Arman Abdullah causing that one. Arman had to give way as Kanzani then, well, he backed it off. I think he might have cut the corner. That's why he actually backed it off as well. So, wow, it's all kicking off, and Jasmine Tan out of all of that manages to sneak up to second.
Big winner there then, Jasmine Tan. Because the front two have just pulled away. Ramdani, obviously, that slowdown thing. This big gap now, 5 seconds off the 5 seconds.
Oh, put it behind, there's an accident there. 2 cars off. It's Kingston Tan, recovering Kingston Tan, and Arman Abdullah, who just spun that previous lap as well. So those two guys almost went into a tango in tandem. And up in front, Ramdani and Cameron James. Oh my word! That's a couple of guys off, and look at who's in the inside. It's Muazzam Zari. Muazzam is in recovering mode as well. Wow, the championship stakes is turned on its head a few times over.
Wow.
And look at how damaged Muazzam's car is. That front wing is dented to the side. But yet, out of all of that, he's actually behind the guy he needs to be in front of, which is Kanzani Ramdani. Ramdani then, I think, might have instigated that particular incident because he backed it up completely. Everyone was so close that any single mistake that happened would have been the result of that being too close together.
Zari here right now is going to be looking at Ramdani going, okay, my car might be damaged. Oh, he's got it. Didn't get the exit. He got the exit, but I'm surprised Ramdani did not defend. And it's allowed Zari through. A great move by the guy who started 22nd for race 2.
He had a work with what was his strategy. He says that he just tries to drive to survive. And guess what? He's surviving quite well right now in the Jurassic Park foliage. He is up to P4 in front of Ramdani, so that's why he needed to get ahead of his championship rival after what was a terrible first race for him. Now he's aiming for P3. Where did this pace come from? He really is rocking about right now.
Well, I mean, there's so many cars in front of him having incidents, making mistakes and getting accidents. Yeah, so wow, look at that. Zari's going to take another position now.
And that's Bradley Martins. Bradley was the guy that went onto the infield grass just now to avoid the spinning Arman Abdullah. Well, not just avoid per se, he actually hit Arman and pinballed him into the inside grass. Now, he is up to P4, battling with Zari. Zari on the outside, Bradley Martins on the inside. They're both actually swapping positions right now, but we can't change to that because there's a battle for the lead between Muhammad Hakimi and Jasmine Tan. Jasmine then putting on the pressure on Muhammad Hakimi. Oh, they hit each other! Wow! Just as we were trying to pick out the battle, Hakimi gets a big old whack at the back, and that's not what you want because if you have a big rear wing damage, the car will obviously hit, and that's not what you want on this circuit at this point in time because this circuit takes no prisoners.
So look at that, it's that big oversteer movement there as well. Wonder if he has got that rear wing damage. You're absolutely right, Amon. There's enough fast corners here that if you lose your rear wing, your car's going to be very, very hard to drive.
And look at that, you can really see that the car is not willing to turn. The car is snapping on the rear end. While Jasmine, he'll be happy to have a bit of understeer at the front because at least now he can try to just finesse the car through the corner as opposed to going off big time. So we're keeping an eye on this battle. Behind them, Muazzam Zari has still not got to find Bradley Martins. So Martins manages to survive that particular attack for the time being. On board with Jasmine Tan, then across the line, then 5th lap out of 11 that's projected, and it's still neck and neck between these two up in front, Alex.
And Jasmine finished second in race 1, didn't he? So if he can win this race, wow, it's a big haul of points he's going to get. Got the good slipstream here, he's going to go to the outside. Oh, wow, that's slipstream strong. He's going to try and make the move around the outside. Can he hold it? What a move!
Oh, that just upstage Matthew Grange's move because Grange was not from championship complications. This one is, and Jasmine had to really go all in to get that move done. And that is important because if the championship thinks he might get it up there, as Kanzani hits the back of Muazzam Zari. The two championship contenders have hit each other, and the other collateral there, Chris Chom tries to go through, and oh, they've hit each other all the way out as well. So that's tit for tat, you might say.
Oh gosh, what was Ramdani doing there? It looks like he waited. He knew he'd hit Zari, so he waited. But then he got too impatient again, then they tagged each other as they tried to leave the scene of the accident. So, yeah, I've got a feel for Zari there, man. He'd done such a good job to get into the top 3.
This is for sure now, this run. This is 12 points run for sure now. And out of all of that, Ricky Sanchez, who actually had to retire from that first race, was collateral. He is now currently stuck in the gravel, would you believe it? of all the ways to go, it wasn't like that. Now we're looking up back to the front. Jasmine and Hakimi. So Jasmine has actually gotten through in front of Hakimi there. That's a bit of a slap in the face for Hakimi, isn't it? Because he was the innocent bystander in that particular instance. He was ahead, but broke a bit too early. Jasmine right to the back of him and is now carrying a bit of damage.
Wow, look at the big gap those two guys have. 11 seconds of a Martin's there in third position.
But that,
Time. Just put it back in the chapter. Oh, look at the chapter standings right now. This is not really good first chapter. Yeah, second and first place.
also the man in second, first place. He reached out. That was the complications in the championship. Hakimi then will be gleefully taking points away from Zari as well. He'll be right in the thick of it as well. Despite being taken out in that first race, but he finished 7th. That's still a good haul of points. In the second race, even if he doesn't win, he will still be right in the thick of the champion hunt.
Through turns 5 right now, turn 6.
That's another battle here. That's a back marker. Kingston Dunn goes through. And Lavinesh as well. The back marker locks up big time. And almost into the gravel track, which has caught out quite a few drivers. In fact, a driver has a big oversteer moment into the gravel track. He goes. Unfortunately, we can't identify that one, but I think he recovers just about safely back onto the track.
Let's see who else is looking very close right now. But Lavinesh there, trying to get all the way off the back of Kingston Dunn. Kingston Dunn's had up and down races as well.
Yep.
But Lavinesh also was in the corners early on, so it's a good recovery.
And both of them as well. And Bradley Martins. Bradley's actually lost 3 positions, 4 positions. He was in 3rd. What's happened to Bradley Martins? Bradley's dropped it and Kingston drops it coming out of the bottom corner. So he loses the position to Lavinesh, but Kingston then in the recovery. But Bradley Martins, what on earth has happened to him? We need to go back to him eventually. There he is now, P7, 3/10 behind Tanzania Ramdani. So Tanzania then, despite the incidents that happened to him, has managed to get up to P7. And Muazzam, remember we talked before the start of race 2, wanted to try to survive, but unfortunately survival instinct betrayed him just there. As Bradley goes around the outside, Ramdani locks both wheels, goes through turn 3, but still around the outside. Ramdani then goes on the inside, but now because the outside, Martins gets to P6. Or does he? He pushes a bit wide there and gets up to P6. Does it eventually?
Nice move around the outside of turn 3 there from Martins, really sweet. Yeah, I think quite a few cars dealing with a bit of accident damage at this point in the race. But really nice move there from Martins.
You can look at visibly the rear wing of Ramdani. Actually, it's quite cramped to the side because he didn't have a big old back from Zari as well. While they were trying to recover from that spin, Chris Chong even was threading through the needle. May have caused that as a guy spins behind. I'm not sure who's that actually spun. It may have been... Oh, Lavinesh! In fact, he has actually spun into the crowd. 2 drivers get involved in that. It's a 3-way, and Arman Hashim sneaks in to get 3 positions for free.
Smoke everywhere. Okay.
And you know what? Yeah.
Ramdani, look at how bad that rear wing is. Okay, so Ramdani obviously carrying a lot of damage on that car. I think at this point he has to settle for position.
Yep.
Quite silly to try and overtake the RT and end up with another accident that puts him outside of top 10. Because even though it's only 7th, it's still points, and that's the name of the game. If you want to win this championship, you've got to try and keep picking up the points.
And it's point in time because again, you have to reiterate the point. He didn't race in this class in round 1. He was in Copland, so this is already considered his rough round at that time. Now he has to make all these last 3 rounds count. As a guy who wants to make this round not count is Muazzam Zari after that big accident with Tanzania Ramdani of all people, his championship rival. Now he is actually having to recover now back up to the top 10 because remember top 10 in race 2 score points. That's a guy on the inside. That's Gabriel Wee. So Gabriel actually came on the inside, but he's still fighting for it side by side as another driver has a half spin. That's Arman Hashim. He was the guy who held P10. The other Arman Abdullah goes on to P10 now. Slides wide. Oh, they're gonna hit. It's a hit already and both all 3 of them spin. Does Muazzam save it? No. He goes into the advertising hoarding and into Narnia.
So far out, the dinosaurs are coming to get him. More cars go off.
And out out of all of that, amazingly, he kept P12, or has he? He's actually spun into the infield. Cars waiting to damage, and look at that. More and more cars further behind have a spin. Oh, wow. We thought that the action was over, but it's still going on. And we have 2 laps to go here in essence. Hakimi has to settle for second place, but behind him, the carnage, the accidents, the controversies are still plenty to mount.
Yeah, there's accidental damages out there, so some tyre wear is becoming a factor now. And it's just a matter of survival for a lot of these drivers.
And for the likes of Mazandari to say he wants to survive, unfortunately, his words have not caught up to him. He has absolutely been bullied here in race number 2. And it wasn't through his own doing, by the way, because he drove so well to get out to P4. Unfortunately, his chief championship rifle grabbed to the side of him, and that is what all she wrote. That's all she wrote for this round, at least. He will definitely chuck this round to the bin, as Ramdani then cannot afford to have another bad result. But here he is in P8, behind Kingston Time, with a badly damaged car. He's so compromised right now. He can't do anything much with it. Even if he has the pace, he just can't throw that car into the corners as much as he wants to.
Jaden Shah, they're also trying to recover now up to P9. Looks like he's closing down the gap, actually.
Yep, and behind him is Arman Abdullah, who's the key to P10, so he gets that 1 point. As another driver goes up there, and I cannot tell who that one is. We've had so much incident in the 2 classes that we had so far, and I cannot wait to see how Gold and Silver will deal with that one. As Muhammad Muridin Omar fights with Adam Kondologis. Around the outside goes Kondologis defense, and Amiruddin Omar, aka Amir Mohammed, thinks better of it and just holds back the line. Now then, last lap for the leader is halfway through this final lap. Is Jasmine time. Jasmine then 2.7 seconds ahead of Muhammad Hakimi. He's got this race covered, and also he's got the better of Hakimi after that exchange between the two. Then that lasted only a couple of laps. Now Jasmine has never looked back as the back marker spins into gravel. Then hopefully he gets to avoid that. Yes, he does, and Muhammad Hakimi as well. Likewise, will also get to avoid him because he's still on the grass. He sees the leaders coming by and tries to conservatively. So, out of the chicane goes Jasmine Time into the final corner. Then this will be officially his first win of the season, I think, because he has not won the races so far. But he will win one now. Coming out of the final corner, he jinks left, jinks to the right. He just wants to swing it then, and across the line he goes. P1 for Jasmine Time, and that puts him right in the championship fight. Hakimi finishes second. We can see on our second screen he's gesticulating. He's happy with that result because he knows full well that he is now right in the championship fight.
Yeah, let's see if we talk to Hakimi right now. Great job there, Hakimi. Good recovery there to get P2 there. You look pretty happy with that. Can you hear us? You're muted at the moment, Hakimi. Yeah, I can hear you now. Take us through your race. How's your race?
We can hear him, we can hear us in a minute. Oh wait, before that we got a dry race to the line between Kanzani Ramdani and Arman Abdullah. Kanzani then just manages to get him by 700ths of a second, so now we can go properly to the interview with Muhammad Hakimi.
Race 1 is just try to get as much pieces as I can. And race 2, for a good start, went up to P3, then went up to P1, but crashing from behind really got to me, and
Yeah, so you must be happy with P2. How was the tyres at the end? Because it looks like quite a few drivers are sliding around tyre wear at the end of the race.
I would say the tyres are quite horrible to this track. This track is quite neat to the tyres.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll enjoy our third track. Obviously, the last track of the season is coming up. We'll be releasing that. Thank you for entertaining us with some great driving, and good luck and see you at round 4.
Alright, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, that was Muhammad Hakimi, who finished second. That's going to help his championship standings as well, isn't it? He's not too far behind, is he?
Indeed, he was actually third coming into this round, so with Mazam Zari having an absolutely shocking round, he might actually just be up there behind Ramdani.
Yeah, so we'll obviously have to take in fact of all the drop points, drop rounds. You can drop 1 round between rounds 1 and 3 before we get to the final round, so you watch out for those points later on. That is bronze class done and dusted, and it's going to be complicated trying to figure out the points. But like I said, watch out for social media for that. We now got silver and gold coming up right after this. They combined the two classes, and of course, we're driving the Jordan Formula 1 car from 1991. It's a great car to watch on track, and stay tuned. We'll be back with that in just a couple of minutes.
130, not good 130. Okay, goodbye. Our team ends here. See you in the final round. Probably Morek Langkawi, I don't know. We'll see, depends on the